Hi everybody, it's Laura from Green Tree. Today we're talking about jackfruit. You may have heard about jackfruit. It's kind of trending out in the internet, in the various places. Pinterest, it's big on there. We just wanted to tell you what it is and what you can do with it. So this is what a jackfruit looks like. You can see sometimes they actually get really big. They can weigh up to 80 pounds and be the size of a small person. They have this sort of green, nubbly exterior. The color can be a little different, the texture can be a little different depending on the variety, but it's a hard sort of bumpy exterior, and they range in size anything from, about this big to like 4 feet tall. So jackfruit is a fruit that's native to southern Asia. They probably originated in India, but it's hard to know because they're sort of widespread in that area. They produce a lot of fruit. A single tree can produce 100 to 200 fruits in a year, and if those fruits are 80 pounds each, that's a lot of food off of one tree. They're actually related to figs. If you've ever cut a fig open, it's that sort of stronger outer skin with a whole bunch of little seeds inside. Well, jackfruits are kind of similar, except I've got a picture here so you can see the inside. It has fairly large seeds located all around the outside next to the skin, and then these sort of little thicker bits here, they come out in individual little pieces, almost like a pomegranate seed, and you pop that seed out of the middle, and that fleshy outer covering is what people actually eat. You can eat the seeds, but they have to be cooked. They're most often boiled or roasted, and then eaten as a snack or a side dish. The fruit itself, that little part that you're pulling off the outside of the seed of the jackfruit, when it's fresh and ripe, it can be used just like fruit. It has a really strong fruity taste. People juice it, people eat it as a snack, they'll dry it, make it into candy, all sorts of different things. But when it's slightly less ripe, it's used as a meat replacer. It has a really wonderful texture to it because it has a lot of fiber. So it kind of holds together and looks almost like shredded meat. Like people will use it to make pulled pork type substitutes, things like that. And I will say, when cooked, the texture reminds me of something like a cross between, I would say, maybe a mushroom and shredded chicken. And again, that's these little portions that are located around the seeds. This little pale flesh here is removed and cooked. So it's hard to find fresh jackfruit in this area. We actually haven't been able to get it in. But what we have been able to get is these fabulous prepared jackfruit meals that you can get. We have 3 different kinds. I'm going to be sampling those today, and I'm going to show you what they look like out of the package. It's kind of crazy. They really look like shredded meat. So this one here is the teriyaki. I'm going to try and tilt it a little for you. I mean, it looks like shredded marinated beef. I would say the teriyaki has like a nice sesame soy kind of flavor to it. It would be great on top of rice. You could toss it into a stir fry at the end of cooking. It also would just be good as a snack by itself. It's actually not an overly sweet teriyaki, so it's a really pleasant flavor. The second one we have is the Tex-Mex. And again, you can see, I mean, this looks like chunks of shredded beef or pork. The Tex-Mex is really nice. It has a strong like cumin, onion, garlic kind of flavor to it. You could go ahead and use this as a filling with tacos with, say, some finely chopped white onions and cilantro on top. You could put this with beans and rice. I could even see having it as a side with eggs for breakfast or putting it in a breakfast burrito. And the third one that we're going to be sampling today is the barbecue variety. You can see it's a nice red barbecue. It's sort of a traditional sweet, smoky barbecue flavor. It's kind of tangy. It's not overwhelmingly smoky like you'll get with some sort of faux meats, because the flavor of the unripe jackfruit really melds into whatever the marinade is and doesn't need to be covered up with a bunch of strong artificial flavors. So those are the jackfruits that we're going to be sampling today. I see a question from Kelly. Ripe jackfruit is sweet. Ripe jackfruit tastes like fruit, but the slightly underripe jackfruit is what they typically use for these savory kinds of dishes. So they're doing it when it's a little bit greener and a little bit firmer, and then it gives over well to this kind of cooking. And honestly, like the teriyaki and the barbecue have a little bit of sweetness to them, but it's coming from the sauce. The Tex-Mex one, which was probably my favorite, really has a savory flavor. It doesn't taste like fruit at all to me. So yeah, it's sweet and fruity when it's ripe, but when it's slightly underripe, it works really well as a meat substitute. The other nice thing about jackfruit, it's a lot lower calorie than most of these dishes would be if you made them from meat. And it's got a lot of fiber, so it helps you stay full for a long time. And it's also, you know, it's going to be something you can serve to vegetarians or meat eaters, and the flavor is going to be pretty universally appealing. No problem, Kelly. Thanks for asking. So I think that's what I've got for you today, information about the jackfruit. If you guys had any other questions or if you want to try them, come down. I'll be sampling these until about 5. And we do carry these all the time now if you wanted to come in and check them out to get a little bit of more information about them. So there we go. That's your jackfruit story, and hopefully we'll see you down here later. Happy Monday.